What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Madden 20 franchise mode. This is going to be, honestly, it's not a panic upload, but I forgot that the Eagles weren't playing on Sunday, because usually Sundays is when we do our Eagles rants. But I was like, oh, they play actually Monday. So I was like, oh, we gotta hop into Bucs franchise real quick. I got about 45 minutes till kickoff here on Sunday. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I remember I said we were just pretty much got to close out the regular season. We got week 14 against Tennessee, 15 against Carolina, 16 against Green Bay, and 17 against Minnesota Vikings. So that, we're 4-8. Not a whole lot can happen. And it's more so, let's just see this season out. Let's keep our scouting. Let's keep pretty much getting everything ready for the off season. So what we're going to do today is we're going to finish up the regular season. We're going to hop in. We'll play a couple games here and there. Mostly, play some offense, see if we can get some nice clips. And then we'll figure out where everything stands here and set it up for the offseason. So, yeah, we're 4-8. I mean, our offense rating looks good. We've gone back to Jameis Winston as our starter at quarterback. Bachmeier, I feel like, has peaked as a potential starter. Just right now as a rookie. I mean, you look at those base stats, they're still pretty decent. I mean, 6'3", 215, so he's like just entering that threshold of ideal QB size. His stats look, okay. 88 throw power, all of his accuracies for the most part are above 75. Not a terrible athlete. But for right now, where we are at as a franchise, everything is kind of focused, at least anyways, on getting this quarterback out of Boston College, Brennan Martin. 6'4", 230. Everything literally outside of his age looks really good. He's a mid-first rounder, even though he's #1. So I'm going to say, just based off of what I know, I'm going to guess he's going to be like a 74 hidden dev, somewhere in that territory. He could even be even better, but he's not going to be worse. So, we're hoping that as we get through these weeks, we want to show, that we have some skill. We don't want to tank. We want to play and perform well so that a lot of these guys, Trey Sanders, and all of our skill position players, like, they still get XP, they still develop so that we can really make a run at things next season. But right now, this year is pretty much a total piss away. And it's almost paramount that we try to get the best pick possible, which right now, we're picking 6. We want that QB. That QB is probably going to be our answer. Unless there's someone in free agency, that could also be a complete possibility. I don't know what quarterbacks are. I mean, I'm year 2023. So this is like 5th year of the rebuild type stuff. I mean, the draft classes do get pretty good. The free agent classes, gets pretty good around this point. So, I mean, there's a chance. So, what actually we'll do today to make it interesting, because we're pretty much just, quickly going through these last 4 games, is I will actually do free agency as well. We will get into free agency, and then we'll kick off the next episode with the probably fallout of free agency as well as the draft. So, we still got, 4 games here at hand. Maybe we could sneak a win or 2. I won't be upset with a win or 2, but if we lose all 4, it's not the worst thing that can happen. So let's get into this game. Week 14 against the Tennessee Titans. Opening drive against the Tennessee Titans, and we look like a goddamn playoff-bound squad. Finishing off with a Trey Sanders rushing touchdown. If there had to be one thing that I would like to see during this last 4-game stretch, would be for Trey Sanders to go off and get up to 1,000 yards. That's going to be a lot. He needs like $150 a game. We got that play in our playbook. Okay, now that I know that I got that play in our playbook, that cheesy, it's an Aaron Rodgers touchdown, but it never is. It's sick. That's the easy way to pad your stats. Oh my God. Of course, when we want to start tanking is when everything starts going on offense. But, we've simmed a lot. It's a mix of me playing, mix of me simming. But still, we're pretty much, anytime we're controlling the Bucs right now, we are handling this Tennessee Titan defense. So, we won the game. Jameis Winston played very well to boot here. Maybe we probably should have kept Bachmeier as our quarterback. We want to lose. 336, 2 touchdowns, no picks for Jameis Winston. He's never had a game that accurate in his life. 100 yards, 2 touchdowns for Trey Sanders. We spread out the love here for our receivers defensively. Isaiah Simmons, 13 tackles. Second half, Jeffrey Simmons. Second half, Ben Bandicoot. 17th sack on the year for Vita Vea. Of course, we'd win. All right, for the next matchup against Carolina, we're just going to play the moments. If we win in this, then we know there's something weird going on. Like, they don't want us to have a good pick. Panthers are also not very good. They are ahead of. We have actually more wins, but they're ahead of us because they have 2 ties on the season. And there we go. We're getting absolutely smoked. This feels a little depressing. Hey, we finally got a touchdown. There we go. 21-10 in the third quarter. Looks like we're getting lots of tackles though on the defense, padding the stats there. Isaiah Simmons and company. But we are not playing particularly good football. And there you go. We fall 38-17. Riverboat Ron still feels bad as we let Cam Newton go off for a 91% completion percentage. That is not very good. Looking at the Bucks, you know, again, it's not even just me. Look at that. 2 picks, 2 touchdowns, Jameis Winston. We got 49 yards for Sanders. We got 6 catches, 111 yards. Godwin had a nice day. Defensively, Simmons and White both getting up there for tackles. We had no sacks, no picks as we fall, and I don't feel so bad about this one. We'll go back-to-back to the play of the moments. We got Green Bay at home. Packers are fairly... I think they got a veteran Aaron Rodgers to do the thing. The Bucks just like that jump out to a 14-0 lead. What's going on here in Tampa? Are we trying to lose, fellas? Except we're going off. My goodness, 24-7. The Packers are not a good team, apparently. And we have Jake Elliott who makes all of his kicks. Look at this defense. Where's this defense? We're coming in on 3rd down. I'm taking a shot. I'm gonna take 1 shot. If we're having this kind of a fun time, I'm gonna at least throw a bomb that's most likely gonna be intercepted. Who wants it? Who needs it? Schwartz. Godwin. One of them boys. Oh, we throw it up. And it's to Godwin and right on schedule into double, triple coverage. Adrian Amos comes down with the interception. You know, I could probably, when you look at the stats, Jameis Winston wouldn't have any picks on this game. So we had to make it look slightly realistic. But yeah, we won. They have Spencer Rattler, the Oklahoma product, at quarterback. But Jameis Winston, 234, touchdown and an interception on the day. 71 yards, 2 touchdowns for Trey Sanders. Godwin playing very well. Mike Evans did okay. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons, tackle machine, 14 tackles and an interception. We had a sack from Simmons and Vea, a couple TFLs here and there. As we're 2-1 in this 4-game stretch to end the year that we really kind of want to go 0-4. Because, of course. All right, let's play the moments here. Final game, regular season finale against Minnesota. Would kind of honestly really like to lose this game. Enough so that I'm almost certain I'm gonna bench Jameis Winston. I think Winston's playing too well. Look at this. We're trying to lose. You're playing like Jameis Winston's trying to like play himself into like we're dropping 40 points. He's like, oh, you're gonna try to suck and get a quarterback? No, I'm gonna put a 50 bomb, a near 50 bomb in the regular season finale against Derek Carr, the man that we tried to make a surprise trade for. And then, of course, Jameis Winston in a sim would go for 84% completion percentage. Unbelievable. Maybe we should have just sim with the Bucks. We would have won the Super Bowl. 343 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for Jameis Winston. We got a $130 and 2. Jameis Winston had 5 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. Chase, what? Godwin had, okay. Who else had our touchdowns here? Pollard had 1. Ferguson had 1. Godwin had 1. Defensively, White and Simmons, 6 tackles apiece. A sack for Jeff Simmons. Interception for Isaiah Simmons. Back-to-back week. He's coming off a Defensive Player of the Week performance. As we go 3-1, of course, we would go 3-1 down the stretch where we want to lose. And the regular season finale, Jameis Winston, your NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Most likely his last game here for Tampa as a Buccaneer. I mean, GOAT style. 350, 5 touchdowns. You can't ask for much more than that. That's so dumb and ridiculous all at the same time. But here we are in the offseason here, practice square. You know, we weren't going to make the playoffs, but we finished 7-9, so we went from having the number 6 pick to having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we still have 10. I mean, there's a big tie there. I don't know if we actually are going to... Well, I would assume we're going to have the tiebreaker to get that number 10 pick. But now, of course, we're probably going to have to trade up to get that quarterback, Martino, out of Boston College. Thanks, Jameis. Appreciate it, bud. Oh, that's... Just sim to Super Bowl week. See if we got any dev traits. We'll get a final look at our... Oh, Isaiah Simmons is here. We'll get a final look at our regular season stats, and then we'll just, like I said, we'll dip into free agency, see who's there, and I'll at least be able to poll you guys as to what direction we should go for what free agents we should sign. So it looks like Super Bowl 58 is going to be between the Saints and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we get a quick preview of what's going on there. The Jags got Jalen Ramsey, Andrew Thomas, D.D. Westbrook. Pretty familiar face. Nick. Oh, you got Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. They are screwed. You got the Saints, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. I mean, we've played the Saints a lot. They have J.T. Daniels at quarterback. But you got Nick Foles for the Jacksonville Jaguars in that Super Bowl. I'm not betting against Nick Foles. But to get a final recap of our regular season stats, so obviously we was just up and down for the quarterbacks. Jameis Winston finished with 3,700 passing yards, 25 touchdowns to 21 interceptions. Bachmeier played, I don't even know how long his stretch of games was, but 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 14. So he finished with 35 touchdowns and 35 interceptions. Okay. It's about, if that was one quarterback, that'd be hilarious. If we just stuck with Jameis Winston, he finished 35-35. I would appreciate that, honestly. I hope you guys would appreciate that as well. Running the ball, we just actually started using Trey Sanders. I mean, he wasn't a starter. He didn't even really get a lot of carries till like week 5. And even then, we are not a running team, or at least this year we weren't. But he still finished, strong down the stretch at 866 yards, 9 touchdowns. Tony Pollard, much more a receiver. But I think going forward, Tony Pollard, Trey Sanders backfield is going to be a big strength for this Bucs team. You throw in Chris Warren, who just shits out Pro Bowls at that fullback position. That's a healthy backfield. But receiving, this is where we, our pride and joy. It kind of lines up with the Bucs in real life, where Godwin and Evans are like top 3 in receiving. Like Godwin, 102 catches, 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns. Mike Evans had 1,200, almost 1,300, and 11 touchdowns. Anthony Schwartz, who we traded for from the Panthers at the beginning of this series, or when we took over for Tampa. 42 catches, 746 and 6. O.J. Howard, 604. Tony Pollard, almost 403. So, I mean, we threw the ball a lot. I don't know if our receiving numbers are ever going to be this crazy again, because clearly we threw the ball so much that the turnovers were bound to happen at an astonishing rate. But this is also what you get. You also get a lot of very nice looking air raid-ish numbers. Looking at blocking, this, Jaron Christian gave up 20. Well, that's even worse that our best tackle, Tristan Wirfs, 84 star, gave up even more than the guy that we expected to be the weak link on the line in Jaron Christian. So they're both gone. They're not coming back. We got Van Pran here. He's up to a 77 star. He's a rookie. He gets an excuse. Rosengarten, he's a star def. He's a rookie. He gets an excuse. But not when you're, especially Tristan Wirfs, looking for like $40 million, become like a very well-paid tackle. You are not giving up 21 sacks and getting paid. Defensively, again, kind of like the equivalent of Godwin and Evans at receiver. Isaiah Simmons and Devin White, 164. These are both the most tackles I've ever had. I think 137 with Leighton Vander Esch in our final year with the Raiders was like the most I think I've ever had in a franchise mode ever on the channel. And we shatter that both with Devin White and Isaiah Simmons. Both had 14 TFLs. Isaiah Simmons, that's an insane year. He's probably linebacker of the year. 6 sacks, 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, 2 picks, Devin White. 18 sacks, 19 TFLs, Vita Vea. I would love him to get a dev trade as well, because he's just sitting here. He did. He went up star. We will preview that. He is 29, but I like the fact that he's, hopefully with that star dev, he won't regress too bad. Jeff Simmons played well. 21 TFLs, 7.5 sacks. For the picks, Isaiah Simmons led the team. We got to get better. We got to get better, and I thought with Legion Cavajos, you bring in, you have Dax Hill, another superstar playmaker. You thought with all these superstars, we would get a lot more turnovers. Our secondary play a lot more better, and that, that's not really the case. Kicking, perfect year for Jake Elliott, 23 of 23, 46 of 46, with a long of 63, and I think yet another Pro Bowl should be coming for Johnny Townsend, 39 punts, 16 of those. Almost half of his punts go within the 20. Let's just see how these stack up against the rest of the NFL here. So for punter, does anyone even have in close to the 20? So we have number 1 for 20. He should make the Pro Bowl. Did he? Will it actually tell me if he made it? I think I missed it. Kicking, Jake Elliott, but no, only kicker. That went for, Evan McPherson, Gator made 17 of 17, but I think you're definitely getting a Pro Bowl there for Jake Elliott. Defensively, number 1 and number 2 in the league. I love seeing John Abram there. Shout out to Abrams Tank. But number 1 and number 2 in total tackles in the NFL. Number 1 in sacks in Vita Vea. Number 1 and number 2 in tackles for loss. We're going to be nowhere near on the pace for intercept. Isaiah Oliver is probably actually there because he plays us twice a year. Jalen Ramsey's. We got Marshawn Lattimore, plays us twice a year. So it's not odds that, you know, Jameis Winston probably put both those guys and you know, a combination of Bachmeier and Winston put both Isaiah Oliver and Marshawn Lattimore in the Pro Bowl. I would say we have the most sacks. Second most. Hey, shout out to this guy. Shit in the bed for the Jets. 2 and 3. There's Connor Williams still being awful for the Raiders, as we expected. Where's our boy? I find it hard to believe. There's Colton Miller's there as well, another tackle. I find it hard to believe that Trent Brown wouldn't make the 9. He cut him in half. That's impressive for Trent Brown. Okay. Looking at receiving. We have the number 1 player in terms of yards in Godwin. Evans at number 3 for touchdowns. We have like 8. Number 8. Rushing. We're probably not gonna have too much there. Rushing for passing. Nick Foles. He's your dude. Baker Mayfield had a really good year as well. Gurley, really good year for Todd Gurley too. 1,900 yards, 23 touchdowns. Saquon had a nice season. But yeah, man, it's just weird. Everything's weird. We are not a good team, 7-9, yet we have so many people at the top of their each individual and respected categories. I'm feeling a certain way, but it is what it is. This first year is just trying to figure out what we have as our first year for John Gruden with Tampa. So let's get into the offseason. So here's where we're going to leave off. The Saints won the Super Bowl over the Jags, actually fairly handily. I think it was 42-10. So that just sets it up here with almost $60 million in cap room. How free agency is going to shape up. Where do we need to look? We need a quarterback. I mean, there's some Jake Fromm's there, Eason, some okay-looking guys. Foles, that'd be awesome, but we need a quarterback. He only wants a 1-year deal. You look at running backs, John Taylor, ETN. We always talked about how I want a speed back. Like, can I finally get a speed back? Doesn't get more faster than that, even though we have Sanders. Wide receivers, we're good. We don't even really need to think about wideouts at this point. Tight ends, we're good. You'll get offensive line. There's a left tackle. You got really a couple options here. Tyron Smith, Decker. Even though, definitely not him because he's the only guy to give up more sacks than any of our tackles. But, I mean, there's some names for sure. Guards, Marpet. John Runyon. He was really good for us in the Raiders. I definitely wouldn't be against bringing Runyon back. We're good at center. Look at right guard. Brandon, I mean, there's not really a whole lot there. Plus, we're getting to, like, the random generated draft classes where I trust we can get linemen. There's some different tackle options here. Worse, Van Lanen, Sadiq Charles all have star dev traits. Flip to the defense. JJ, I mean, in terms of youth, not much there. Left end, a D tackle, we're good. Right end, Solomon Thomas, not a scheme fit. Davenport, we let walk. Again, oof. Not a great, not a great year to need defensive linemen. Flipping to linebacker, they got Von Miller, but we're good. Middle linebacker, we're good. Outside linebacker, we have, oh, did he retire? Levante David's still there at 34, so we do have that option to bring him back. But, you look at something like that, Josh Uche from Michigan, he's pretty good. Secondary, Gilmore, Teron, I mean, again, no good corners right off the rip. Thomas Graham's 25 with a star dev. That actually, no bids. That could be actually a great piece of business. Put him on the top of the list. We're good at safety, at both safety spots. Special teams, we're sure as shit good. So the question, the big question. I mean, there's some obvious targets at tackle, at linebacker, at corner, quarterback. Let's hear it. Are the carpool people still there in the comments? So that's how we're going to end the episode, guys. As always, hope you did enjoy. Hope you're having a great football Sunday. Just actually came to finish recording this at the end of the Niners-Saints game. That was ridiculous. George Kittle, my God. But if you first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. If you enjoyed, until next time, it's C4. So give me your feedback in the comments. I'll catch you back here very, very shortly.
Money money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent, I'm doing it big. Way too persistent on taking your bitch. Here comes a monster to scare all you kids. Y'all scared, what you running from?